Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. I recently read an article that another shooter was planning on leaving Canon to Sony. They were not happy with the 5D Mark IV, coming from a 5D Mark III. Went and played with a Sony a7R Mark II, found it to be much sharper right out of camera, found the lenses to work better, and they didn't have a general softness, I believe is what they were complaining about. And this just seems to be yet another added to the pile. I mean, you all know from my previous videos that I was very disappointed with the 5D4. Maybe a firmware update will correct the video problems, the bad codec and whatnot. But we have some interesting commentary in here from Ian Ma. Ian writes in, and he says, both today's videos seem to have a very anti-Canon bias. I don't remember which day that was, but it was probably, he didn't like the fact that I was talking about the 5D Mark IV, I would imagine. Who are you to say that Canon's patent... Oh, so obviously this was a comment to the patent videos where we were discussing what Canon was doing with patents and was their R&D in the right spot. Who are you to say that Canon's patent won't be game-changing sometime in the medium to long-term future? I guess my immediate thought to that comment is, will they still be around if their game-changing doesn't come to the medium to long-term future? As I understand it, the sensor of the 5D4 is not far behind Nikon and Sony. There is a lot more to a camera than dynamic range, and as far as I can see, that is about the only metric by which Nikon and Sony beat Canon. This is all arguable, of course. Please try to be more even-handed and non-partisan. Thanks. Well, first of all, I think I am pretty even-handed. I do try to be. And I am nonpartisan. I use what works. I'm not brand loyal any more than, like right now, probably I've had people say, well, you love Panasonic. And I do, because they keep making amazing cameras. If they started playing the game like Canon does and not paying attention to their customers' demand and giving them crippled cameras and things like that, I wouldn't be liking Panasonic anymore. But Panasonic doesn't do that. Every time a new Panasonic camera comes out, I'm excited about it. It's got new features. It works well. The price is awesome. So that's not partisan. That's not not being even-handed. That's giving kudos to something that's amazing. When Canon came out with the latest of their mirrorless, which is what, the M5, or the latest one I liked, I give that full marks except for the lack of 4K, which is a huge problem, but I really liked the camera. Would have bought one if it had 4K. So I give kudos where kudos is due. I like the 80D and the 70D, and if with the caveat of no 4K, if you need something that can follow you around with the best autofocus, they can do it. So there's a lot I like about Canon. I don't like their philosophy of not giving you the best. I don't think that's not being even-handed and being nonpartisan. I think that's calling a spade a spade. I hit Nikon for that too. Nikon really needs to up the game, and they did somewhat with the D5 and the D500, but we need to see some 4K cameras in the lower DX lineup, and we are going to see that. I think this year we're getting the 7300, the 7200s update. I think that'll be 4K. I'm almost positive it will. It would be a big mistake if it wasn't. And we're going to see some updates to either the 610 or the 750, and those will have 4K too, guaranteed. So, I think, I call a spade, and I mean, unfortunately, if you're a Canon fan, you're not going to like to hear it, but Canon's been dropping the ball lately, especially in the 4K thing. They really want you to buy their super expensive high-end video cameras, so they're crippling, for instance, the 5D4, which could have been a very good camera. I wrote a response here. Let me tell you what my written response was. But the Canon 5D4 just came out. And that was my comment to him comparing it to Nikon and Sony, because the 810's been out for, 3 years? And the Sony's been out for a while too. And the 5D4 just came out and it still can't measure up. Doesn't have the same megapixels. And with lower megapixels, it does not beat or compete with the Nikon or the Nikon and the Sony. So right there that's not partisanship. That's, holy crap, Canon, what's your problem? If these were race cars on a track, nobody would be saying because the one car performed a lot less well or worse than the other cars and got smoked and consistently lost, nobody's going to be, they're not going to be defending that car. They're going to be saying, pull up your socks and fix it if you want to compete. The sponsor money is going to be going away. You're not going to be seeing them on the podium accepting awards. When somebody purposely cripples things so they can't compete, you don't pat them on the back. You call them out on it and hope they fix it, because I want a strong, competitive Canon. Okay. Don't forget, too, that Nikon will be refreshing most of their full-frame cameras this year. I just make that allusion. I just noted that myself. Brackets, i.e. Nikon D810, Nikon D610, 750. The updates to those, the 850, 650, 760, or whatever their names will make the 5D4 look like a dinosaur. I'd really like to see Canon pull back into pole position. I really wanted to buy a new Canon M5, but they couldn't see their way to offering 4K video. Hopefully the Canon 90D will be a game changer. So, I would like to own a Canon camera right now. If the 90D comes out and it's 4K, I will probably buy one. If the M5 had been 4K, I would have bought one. Really like that camera. The 5D4, there's no argument there when you're saying, comparing it to the 810 and the A7R2, which have been out for a while. And then the 5D4, which is the latest and greatest, does not have the same resolution, and even at lower resolution cannot outperform the Nikon and Sony sensors. No argument there. That's just calling a spade and asking Canon, why did you drop the ball? Not only that, you didn't just drop the ball there. You dropped the ball because the 4K is crippled heavily, in my humble opinion. Anyways, I thought this was interesting feedback from Ian, and thank you, Ian. A gentleman can disagree. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody has the things they like, and it's okay to disagree, and it's good. I like debate. So let me know what you guys think. Do you come down on Ian's side? Have I been too hard on the 5D4, or do you agree with me? The 5D4, I called it a flop, and personally, that's what I think. But am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Let's discuss it. It's just an interesting state of affairs, especially with the new Nikons on the way out, and of course, we'll have new Sonys anytime. They're putting them out at a faster schedule than anybody else. Thank you for your feedback, Ian. I do appreciate it, even if I don't agree with you. And it's welcome. I welcome contrary feedback. You were polite and well-spoken, and I appreciate that. What I don't like is some other people get on and they start slinging mud and calling names because they don't like something I've said or an opinion. We can all be civil to each other and have a good debate. Let me know what you guys think, folks. Leave it in the comments below. Thanks again, Ian. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.